Thank you for tuning in to the Clay Edwards Show here on YouTube. Today's video is going to be of a very sensitive topic this morning. It is when furries attack. Over the weekend in Ridgeland, Mississippi, at one of our finest shopping centers in the state of Mississippi, a young, don't know the age of the child, to be honest. I don't know if it's 18, 14, 13, don't know, don't care. A child was dressed up as a furry, putting on a very, very disturbing public display. It was caught on tape. It was shared multiple places. Somebody sent it to me. I shared it. I have a larger platform than some, so it went rather viral. TikTok has already deleted it. It was sitting at almost 300,000 views. TikTok deleted it at right at 300,000 views. It has since continued to blow up on X as well as Instagram and Facebook for now. So I'm just going to show you the video, and then I want to get you all's opinions, and I'm going to break this down Wednesday morning with my co-host Sean Yerkeron on my radio show because I would like his opinion on this. But this is bothering me. I want to make a long video about it tonight. I'm being attacked left and right on all of my social media networks, getting a lot of support too. So I'm fired up. I got a little more in-depth conversation I want to hit that I don't think I can quite cover in the comment sections on social media. So here we go. Let me pull it up here. There will be no audio while I'm playing the video. So I'm just going to let you guys listen or watch it. There is no audio. Here we go. This is at Renaissance, the big, nice movie theater / shopping center here in Jackson, or should I say Ridgeland, Mississippi, this past Saturday, September 1st, I believe. Here we go. All right, so I would like to get y'all's opinions on that. I've definitely got some. Let's see if we can possibly pull it up over here. I've got it loaded in my Twitter. I would like to be able to talk a little bit while this video plays because I want to do a little bit of narrating, and then I want to get into 5 or 6 topics on this. And I think, frankly, just personally, this is a really good reason why we shouldn't be so strict on bullying. I think there's a time and a place for an appropriate amount of bullying. I really don't like that word, but for lack of a better term, bullying is what we'll call it. Let's see if I can get it to pull up here real quick. Y'all bear with the brother 1 second here. Like I said, man, we got to quit pandering to insanity. I don't know when that stops, how we get there, but we've got to quit doing it. All right, I got the video pulled up. Let me pull the share up here real quick. Hope everybody's having a good day today. Be sure to go to my website, buyfafo.com, and get you a FAFO shirt like the one I'm wearing now. All right, I think we got it here. All right, so let's play this, and I'm going to do a little narrating here. This is the best I can understand. I've heard 2 different people say it's a guy. A couple say it's a girl. I don't know. Oh, it's a guy because its sister reached out claiming it was her brother and that it's a minor. Well, my argument to being a minor is how the hell is anybody supposed to know it was filmed in a public location? Therefore, it is beyond legal to film anything that happened in a public performance. It doesn't matter if it's a child or not. It's wearing a mask and it's parading around dressed as an animal. How am I supposed to know if it's a adult, a child, a boy, a girl? Does it even know? Does it even know what it is? But let's start over here and kind of go through these shenanigans here. It's just jumping up and down. I guess this is the part where it kind of acts like an animal. Here's the problem. No, so you bring this out in public. You bring this into the public realm and you put it out there for everybody in the world to see. You bring that out there for everybody in the world to see. And then you get upset with us when we're tired of playing these damn games. We've been going along for what, 7, 8 years now? All of these self-oppressed groups telling us that we have to make room for their diversity, equity, inclusion, and that anybody that says anything different is a bigot, a homophobe, a transphobe. We're tired. We're tired of keeping our mouths shut. We've kept our mouths shut for too long. Y'all know that. I quit shutting mine a long time ago. But normal folks are tired of ignoring the problem here. We have a serious mental health issue in this country, and it's being exacerbated by parents and educators that won't tell these kids, hell no, you're not doing that today. Hell no, you're a human. You're not a kitty cat. You are not a dog. You are a boy or you are a girl. As I was putting my notes together over here, one of the questions I had was, A, is it bullying to call it out? B, is ignoring it good for the long-term mental health of the kid that's dressing up and living its public life as a furry? And then I added this one after I added all my other ones, went back and moved it to number 3. It says, could this be an early sign that someone so young, who's so uncomfortable in their skin, that they could cosplay as an animal and inevitably end up with the tendencies to become transgender? I think it's another great example of why it's so important for parents, guardians, churches, or community leaders to step in and put their foot down and refuse to play along with the nonsense. So let's jump over here to my Twitter. This is interesting. We're going to jump over to my Twitter. We're going to see some of the people that are defending this. You know, I think this is another way for them to get tied up in with the LGBTQ. It's possibly a way for them to start recruiting, for lack of a better term. You know, there's that GROOMING word that we're not allowed to say on here that they like to do. But could this be a new way for them to start recruiting a much younger demographic into the umbrella of the LGBTQ LMNOP rainbow supremacist, as I call them? And I do believe that that is, at the end of the day, that's what is going on here. Whether this kid knows it or not, whether its parents know it or not, it's being recruited online in these Reddit forums, and not just TikTok. It happens on every other platform too. It's being radicalized online. And they always go after the same groups of kids, possibly on the spectrum of some sort. Let's go here to one of my most recent comments. Little reply from somebody. Make sure I got it pulled up big enough. Let me swap this. I want to make sure y'all see it. And I know I kicked a hornet's nest right here when I replied to this nut job, but you'll have that on big jobs, as they say. So J4, sponsored by Culver's. First off, their name is ASS Booty SEX. So that should tell you all you need to know. It says, you go to their profile. A lot of my posts are satire. I'm a lesbian, skinny.queen. Lots of posts on here about being gay. Lots of posts about being gay. And that's fine. You can be as gay as you want. We ain't got no problem with gay folks. No problem with gay folks. Where'd it go? All right, yeah, right here. He says, this is a child. Now, this was under the video. I got the video reposted over here on my Twitter. It says, this is a child. And it was at this point, and I looked on their profile, that it really clicked. The people who have run to the defense of this kid, of this furry, are all overwhelmingly tied in with the LGBTQ folks. I don't think that's a mistake at all. I think if you start looking on Reddit forums and all that, I think a lot of the LGBTQ folks are using the furry movement as a recruiting tool, kind of get people that are uncomfortable with their skin to kind of move into the furry. And then you kind of transition them. They love that word transition out of the furry and into the next phase, the tease. Now, look, if you're an adult and you want to do all this, fine, whatever. When you're doing it with kids, you got me. You got a problem. I'm not going to just sit back idly and allow that to happen. So I told and it should be kept as far away from y'all as possible. Let's just say the good guys are here to save the kid from being recruited into y'all's rainbow supremacy. And it continues. It says, I'm not one of them. I'm a person with common sense rather than an old man hating on there's our favorite word, literal, hating on a literal child for having fun. No. Y'all are mad that we're calling out you crazy. That's what they can't stand. When we get into when we get deep into the culture war, that's what this is. This is deep into the culture war. This is the battle for the soul of America. And by soul of America, I'm talking about our damn children. Rainbow supremacists don't have children. They recruit ours. Never forget that. If they're LGBTQ and all that, they've opted out of the conversation for childbirth. That's why I chuckle when I see them marching at abortion rallies. Two dudes can't make a baby. Two girls can't make a baby. Why are y'all here? So they're upset that we're showing what's going on and people are getting to see the crazy wide ass out in the open, as you see it there. So I got a few more notes that I want to run by over here. I'm going to leave that up for y'all to enjoy. And that is my caption there I made on it for the video. It just says, I miss the days when we locked crazy people up in insane asylums. So first question is it bullying to call it out? I say, hell no, it's not. There's a respectful way to do it. Don't you physically touch a person like that to have a conversation. But no, it ain't bullying to call them out. Is ignoring it good for their long-term mental health? Hell no, it's not. Hell no, because the longer they go thinking this is acceptable behavior, the harder it's going to be to wind that thing back, or the harder it's going to hurt them when they get into high school, or God forbid, out into the real world, out from under the Department of Education, and they find out exactly how hard it's going to be to try to live their life as a furry. And that's, in my opinion, when they switch from furry to one of the T's in the LGBTQs. I previously just answered the other one about possibly running out of the furry world and into becoming transgender, possibly. And then here's where it gets kind of interesting, in my opinion, because it's not as much about the furry as it is the fallout in the aftermath of the furry. It says, is it fair to the parents of other young children to be forced to explain to their kids what's going on at a way earlier age than they're comfortable having to do so? A girl on my Facebook, I guess I should have saved the post. She was at a trampoline park in Pearl, Mississippi, is the way I gathered it. And she said there is a furry there. And they'll cut the lights off and do the black light jumps. I haven't been, but I'm just speculating. We used to go to the skating rings, they'd cut the lights off at all the black lights and do the speed trucker stuff. So some version of that. Well, these furries are in there pretending to be cats and dogs and crap, and they got tails stuck to them. Well, they're jumping up and down and doing all their nonsense. And if they lose a tail, they have to stop the jump, cut all the lights on, because they freak out like they've literally lost a body part. They have to cut all the lights back on till they find their tail, then they start over. You just imagine that this is quite the drag on the regular kids there, having to constantly stop. So these nut job kids whose parents allowed them to show up to the trampoline park dressed as a cat with a clip-on tail. Imagine what they're having to go through. We're talking about young kids here, man, 9, 10, 11, 12 years old, maybe even younger. And the parent is having to uncomfortably explain what a furry is and why they can't laugh at it. No, 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 no. You, young buck, you can laugh all you want. In Clay Edwards' America, we are through pandering to people with self-inflicted mental illness. You may be mentally ill, and that's fine. That happens. We all have our struggles with mental health. But when you decide to become a self-inflicted, oppressed group of people, like a furry, I have no sympathy for you. What you do in your house does not matter to me. You want to live in a furry enclave, have your kitty litter in the middle of your living room, sleep in a kennel. I don't, you're weird, really weird. You're weird like Tim Walls, but none of my business. But when you bring it out into the public and everybody else and them kids have to see it, then I have a problem with it. Also, if they're dressed up as a furry and going to school, is it a useless distraction to the rest of the students and school staff? 100% yes. Absolutely, it's a distraction. Should not be allowed. There's some back and forth rumors of if there is or isn't furries in some of these schools in Madison and Rankin County. I hope to have an answer by tomorrow morning's radio show. I'm recording this Tuesday night. It'll drop live Wednesday morning, and I'll be on the air from 7 to 9. I hope to get real answers by that if you're listening to this early. If you're listening to this after the fact, say Wednesday afternoon or later, I will upload a follow-up podcast with the other details. It'll be audio only because it'll be from the radio show, but it will be here on YouTube as well. Also, my video with almost 300,000 views got deleted from TikTok because they said it was harassment of a protected class of people. Why are furries a protected class? Well, it's easy because it's under the umbrella of LGBTQ. They've made that clear. Like that previous tweet I read y'all, where they're jumping in trying to defend it. They're jumping in because they don't want us talking about them. They don't want us exposing what's going on in these little subcultures. Look, man, I like going to Comic-Con. I love seeing the people doing the cosplay. I'm not some old fogey that doesn't like to have fun or doesn't get it. But this is deeper than that. The associate pastor or the youth pastor from the church reached out trying to justify what's going on. I'm not, he sent a private message. I'm going to return a private message to him. And, I may address it later. I may not. Couple of good comments over on Jackson Jambalaya. He shared my video there. I recommend y'all check that out. Here was one of the good ones right here. It says, furries should be grouped with trans and the rest of the LGBTQ. They are all from the same perverse ilk. Your kid dressing up in a furry fetish clothes is not cute. It is deviant sexual behavior. I could not have said it better myself. Again, go to jacksonjambalaya.com and it's under Idiot of the Day. And he's got a link to my Instagram video. If you want to go see the comments under my Instagram video, that's where it got the most views that is still listed. Just go search @SaveJXN on Instagram. That's @SaveJXN on Instagram. And you can see you can read the scroll on the bottom there. It's @SaveJXN across all social media platforms. There's a lot of interesting debate there. I'm going to have a good debate on it on the radio show today. I think things have gone too far. It is time to tighten up. It is time to let the adults back in the room and start telling these kids no. Because I've had people tell me, oh, Clay, it's just a kid. Or Clay, I know the parents. Well, it's time for the dang parents or the church or whoever's in charge of trying to shape this young man's life. It is time for them to step up and start telling this kid no. Well, Clay, it's had a bad life. Well, it's going to have a much worse one if it continues moving forward doing stuff like this. That's not a threat by no stretch of the imagination. I'm just telling you, as somebody who's lived enough life, somebody who's been around the internet long enough, this won't be its last time on the internet doing stuff like that in person. Its sister came out and attacked me. Again, all that's fine. I got thick skin. I'm built for being attacked. So I don't care because I'm going to call out right and wrong. Other kids having to be forced to see this, in my opinion, especially at a young age, is no different than the LGBTQ rainbow supremacist forcing young kids in school to have to learn about their sexual reproductive organs in the LGBTQ community. It's entirely ridiculous. Way too soon to be having those conversations about sex concerning straight or gay folks. And now they're trying to teach them about this. They're trying to normalize indecency. They're trying to normalize sexual deviancy. I'll never try to sit here and do any of that stuff. I'll never be a hypocrite. I'm a guy that likes to have a good time. I'm a single guy. I like to go out and have fun. But I'm an adult. You'll never see me bringing my party, my caravan, anywhere near a school, anywhere near kids, trying to influence them. Hey guys, come party with us. We'll show you how it's done. No, would never do that. It's never straight people doing that, apparently. It's always folks from the agenda, from the rainbow supremacy that are doing that. Why is that? I know why. I'm asking y'all to ask yourselves, why is it always the rainbow folks that are trying to push this agenda on kids and tell them that deviancy is okay, and anybody that's not okay with it is just a homophobe, a transphobe, a furry phobe, a bigot, or whatever else? I used to play with dolls. I used to play with my sister's dolls when I was a kid. When I was a kid. I turned out just fine. Now that's debatable. Some will say that's debatable. But I'm unquestionably a man. Never once had a thought about not becoming one. Y'all got to let kids be kids. Quit forcing this crap on them. And every now and then, kids don't get to be the final decision maker. You got to tell them no. Somebody mentioned the kid. I want to throw this out there. Somebody mentioned the kid could possibly be on the spectrum, autism, autistic, Asperger's, something like that. I understand people with that condition, they get hyper focused on something, and that's all they want to focus on. Whether it's dinosaurs, being a furry, being Rain Man, and inevitably, that also seems to be who ends up doing the trans thing, according to the data. And inevitably, they also end up being the ones with the 50% suicide rate that suffer the ultimate price. Start paying attention, parents, to your kids. I understand wanting your kids to have fun, especially if you have a special needs kid. You want them to just feel comfortable in their own skin. And maybe this is what it is that makes them do it because they don't feel comfortable in their own skin. I don't know, but you're going to have to figure something out, man, because it's sending them down a path straight to a terrible, terrible place. And I'm trying to pick my words wisely because I want this video to stay on YouTube. If I say certain things, they will not let it on YouTube, and it doesn't have a chance to hit as big of an audience. I don't want to have to load it on Rumble and then share the link on Facebook and all that stuff, or X and everything. I want people on YouTube to see it because that's where we have the most impact. It'll never be seen on TikTok again. They've already deleted it. Stay safe, stay blessed. Listen to my radio show. We're going to be discussing it in deep. I would love to hear from you all if you got any thoughts on it. 601-879-0002 is the live call-in number. We're on from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m., 103.9 FM WYAB. You can stream it worldwide at WYAB.com. If you missed the show, you want to check out the podcast, go to whatever audio platforms you use for podcasting, Apple, Spotify, etc., and just search Clay Edwards Show. It'll pop up. It's usually up by 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. This has been the Clay Edwards Show. I will see you guys tomorrow morning on the radio, as my friend Kim Wade so eloquently says.